What the?
What it do, 613 Sports? We are back. It is time for another episode of
WTF?
Yes, sir. So again, it's me and Eddie here today. And it's been a pretty jam-packed day. And a whole bunch of stuff's happened in the last week. So we're going to fill you in on everything that's going down. But this week, we're going to start it off with some WOSO.
Vamos. Yeah, so WOSO. So the day we're recording this, Wednesday, it was the Women's Champions League. And before we start talking about the game, we have a major complaint, Brandon, don't we?
Oh my goodness. Like, y'all do not believe. So, do you want to touch on it or you want me to go through?
Oh, you can start.
Okay, so this actually starts off yesterday. So I was like 1 a.m., you know, just on my phone, whatnot. And I'm scrolling through Instagram and I saw some WOSO pages talking about like, oh yeah, this is a streaming service for the games. And I'm like, sick, because I don't have one of those for Champions League. We get that. And it's like, all right, we're set. There's 4 games tomorrow. We're good. But nah, it's not that simple. So I watched the first game, 7:30 in the morning, Man City. Have the subscription. It's working. Next game, Chelsea versus Wolfsburg. The streaming service didn't actually cover it. But since I had the Chelsea app, I was able to do it. So I'm like, solid. But 1 hour into the game, the next game starts. And I'm like, all right, let me head to the streaming service. But then it's region locked. So you can't watch it in Canada. And I'm like, what's the point of that? First things first, we have like 3 Canadians in that match. We have Buchanan, we have Lawrence, and we have Jordan Heidema. We need to watch this. So then I have to get a VPN. A whole VPN just so I could watch that game while I'm trying to watch the Chelsea game, and I can't switch between them because I'm not allowed to watch the Chelsea game in Spain where I was because of the VPN. And it was just so much just to watch a few games of WOSO. This should not be.
I think this is a perfect summary of what's the biggest issue in terms of women's sports. That we have to go through every little roadblock just to watch a simple game. I mean, like, first of all, we have a streaming service. It's working. The next game, not there. I need to download some Chelsea app. Oh, why? To watch. And then the next game is blocked. I need to download VPN. First of all, I'm not paying for VPN, so I can't do that. Just to watch Women's Champions League, which is supposed to be like the pinnacle, basically, there of European football. We can't do it. That's on the media's fault. I don't know why you can't just have one streaming service to put all the games there. Put all the leagues. I'm sure all the women leagues can combine. Put the French league, put the English league, put German league, something like the Zone. Put them all there. Let's watch all the games there. Why do we have to go searching through all these ridiculous amount of places to watch a game? But that's our complaint. Do better, media, for women's sports. Do better. But yes, as we said, there were 4 Champions League games today. The first one is 7:30 a.m. on a Wednesday. I know, weird. But it was Barcelona versus Manchester City, and on Manchester City, there's Janine Becky. She didn't play. Man City got blown out 3-0. They didn't really capitalize on the chances, but Barcelona is a very top side. But now Man City is in a deep hole. I mean, that's what happens when you don't play Janine Becky. You lose. Any comments, Brandon?
Man City actually, the scoreline doesn't really reflect the game if you watched it. It was back and forth. Barca did have possession because they're Barcelona, but Man City had chances in the first half. Ellie Roebuck bailed them out a couple of times. And Chloe Kelly, it was 2-0, and she had a penalty, which was saved. So if that's 2-1, Man City with the away goal, anything's possible in that second leg. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be for City.
Do you see City making a comeback? Because I know this isn't the Barcelona men's side, so I don't think this women's side is going to choke it. But is there a chance?
Well, with City, the attack and firepower they have, especially their front 3 of, like I said, Chloe Kelly, Ellen White, and Lauren Hemp, they've been scoring all throughout the season. And Lauren Hemp specifically, she was balling out today. She's got a goal or assist in all of the games she's played in 2021, and it was a streak that actually ended today. She would have got the assist if Chloe Kelly put it away, but don't count them out just yet, even though it's 3-0.
I like that. And then moving on to the next game, which you could find on the Chelsea app. It was Chelsea versus Wolfsburg. Chelsea wins that 2-1. You watched that, Brandon. Anything you wanted to tell us about this game?
Well, Pernilla Harder, who signed for Chelsea in the summer, used to play for Wolfsburg, and they made it to the Champions League finals or so. This was a big match for her coming out party again, and she scored the winning goal. So that's good momentum taken to the second leg.
Did Jessie Fleming play?
She did not play. There was only 2 subs for Chelsea because Emma Hayes is pretty stingy, but she'll do anything for that win.
So we're 0 for 2 for Canadian appearances so far. I mean, I think that streak's going to end with the next game of PSG versus Lyon, which you watched in Spain. Tell us about that game.
Of course. So this was, if you were watching it, it's like these 2 teams could be in the finals if they weren't matched up against each other. And we were talking about it last week. They go back and forth in the French league. So it was super competitive. You had 3 Canadians who got appearances in this game. Ashley Lawrence and Kadisha Buchanan played the full 90. And this game went back and forth up until the 87th minute when Wendy Renard capitalized and scored a pen. And then that's all the scoring that it would be in this game.
It's a close match for sure. I mean, I wish I could see it. Maybe next time I need to take a trip to Spain and watch it. But the last game with the last Canadian appearance, we had Bayern versus Rosengard. Brandon, what's the story there?
So unfortunately, I didn't get to watch this one because I was in Spain, and then, I took a trip to Germany, and then Germany was like, 9, you can't be having that. 9. But Steph Lave did get the start in goal. She did play, but Rosengard is definitely probably the smallest team left in this quarterfinals. I'm not sure what it's ended, but it was 3-0 last time I checked. So again, it's not over, but it's not looking good for Rosengard.
So to summarize, Women's Champions League, it was a good first round of matches if you were able to watch it. Unfortunately, you can't watch it, which is a big problem, which needs to be fixed. But we're going to try our best to keep you guys updated. And in the description box, we will drop a link to the streaming service that we do use and any other methods that we can find that you guys can watch this, because you got to support the Canadian girls. So you got to. And I mean, hopefully in the second leg, we see Janine Becky and Jessie Fleming play. But the games are entertaining alone, even without them playing. So it's really top content, quality gameplay.
It really is. And also, they might play on the weekend. And with this new deal that the FAWSL signed for broadcasting rights, it is coming into play next season. But we will be getting to see Jessie Fleming, the Janine Beckys, much more, because they're going to be bringing us more games on a streaming service that is free. So we will be able to actually indulge and not have to take a quick trip to Spain to watch it.
It's awesome. Sky Sports linking up with the English league there. That's huge news. Like you said, now it's easier access, which is great for the game, and more people will be able to watch, especially here in North America, when we know for a fact that trying to find soccer games in North America it's pretty hard. I mean, right now the the World Cup qualifiers are going on. We can't watch that. So that's the world we live in, but we're going to try our best at 613 Sports to bring you the best women's content. Through that, we're going to drop some links in the description bio, so check that out.
So going on to someone who represents the Canadian national team, we have Adriana Lyon, who is out for the season. She fractured a bone in her foot and it needed surgery. So this actually happened during the She Believes Cup. And when me and Eddie were watching, we were sort of wondering, because we know Lyon's faster than she appeared, but she wasn't moving too well.
No, I mean, that's the first thing I noticed, because I remember watching her previously, and like you said, she was moving more agile, more runs, but for some reason in the She Believes Cup, she was a lot slower, and a lot more timid. And I mean, this explains a lot. I mean, that's not a good place to have a fracture. And I mean, even with their local club of West Ham, that's a big blow to them. So wishing her a speedy recovery, and hopefully we can see her back soon.
Yeah, hopefully she recovers in time to even be in the running for an Olympic spot.
Because she does provide an offense for the team, which is much needed, as proven in the She Believes Cup. So that kind of explains it now of why that was happening. So we're hoping to see Prime Lyon back for Olympics.
So now going on to our local club, the club we hold near and dear to our hearts, Atletico Ottawa. We finally have a sign-in, but it's not a player sign-in. Tell us about that, Eddie.
Unfortunately, for all you people who want a player signing, it's not a player signing, but this is actually a very important signing because Atletico Ottawa has announced that AJ Cabra will be joining the technical staff as an assistant coach, which is huge because, as you may know it, AJ Cabra last month retired from the Canadian Premier League at age 25. Never said what. He said he was going to go back to school and study, like physiotherapy, I believe. But this is big news. Atletico Ottawa is bringing him back in a position to pay him. And I mean, Atletico Ottawa on their website, they said that it's a team mandate to create pathways for all people involved with the club. And this is huge. I mean, AJ Cabra was a good player for the team. I mean, he only played a couple of games, the Island Games. But the fact he's 25 and retiring from the game of football, it brought a lot of concern to people, especially with the players' union and the low wages. And the fact that the team has actually reached out and gave him a position, it's important. And he has the skills. He has all the coaching license. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the team alongside Mista.
Yeah, it's really good to see that not only just the club, but the league is looking to continue the players' development as human beings and giving them opportunities to work even after their careers are done. And this is also great to grow the Canadian game. Another Canadian coach. So down the line, who knows, he might one day coach Atletico Ottawa.
I mean, he's 25. That's young. I mean, that's like
super young.
4 years older than us. Like that's really young. And to retire from a game of football, I mean, and now he has a job, instead of having to figure it out, he has a family stuff. Now he has, all right, I get to stay in the city. I get to work with this club. I already was there last year. I'm excited for this. This is a very good signing. It's, I mean, if we can't have a player signing, this is the exact kind of signing I do want.
Yeah, 100%. You'll love to see it. Also, some news coming out of the streaming service Dazn. They decided to partner with League One Ontario's Woodbridge Strikers to form a partnership.
Yeah, I mean, this came out of left field. I mean, this is the first. I mean, League One Ontario, everyone knows, it's semi-pro. I mean, there's a bunch of teams in Ontario. I mean, Ottawa has OSU in there, and there's a bunch of teams that can Barrie have a team. And obviously, for people wanting to watch, you can't really watch unless you have a team in the city. For Dazn, a big streaming service. I mean, they stream the EPL, they stream boxing. They're streaming in League One Ontario team. Woodbridge, they're one of the oldest teams. They're one of the original first 10 founders of League One Ontario. They were founded in 1976. They have like over 5,000 members. This is a historic club. And I mean, this is a great way to grow the game at a grassroots level. I mean, there's no doubt that soccer in Canada needs to grow, and you can only grow from the grassroots level. And I mean, the best way to do it is have it on a streaming service, which I think every soccer fan will have by now. Dazn, you have to have it. And to have something local on there, now people can watch any game. So even teams who have, a team in Barrie, when they're playing against Woodbridge, guess what? The game's on TV. OSU, and here in Ottawa, the games against Woodbridge, the games are on TV or Dazn. So I think this is great news. I mean, the partnership is going to help each other. Dazn keeps growing as a great streaming services, and Woodbridge, like I said, it's going to grow the club, and it's going to grow League One Ontario and the whole grassroots level of Canada.
Yeah, it's really good to see that they're building from the bottom up. Like, when you were talking about this, it even made me think back to like the hashtag United, how they just grew a club out of nowhere, right from the bottom. And then they started streaming some of their games, and then they had a huge audience. And then next thing you know, they're playing in the FA Cup, drawing out crowds, showing up on Twitch. Like, imagine if that had the same sort of effect, not to the highest degree, but like we could be seeing something definitely.
I mean, in 2021, with all the media we have, there's no reason why teams who are semi-professional shouldn't be getting at like some kind of viewership or streaming. Even like you said on Twitch, there's something big. I mean, DAZN is huge, but we can take it a step down even. And I mean, just show games. That's all we need, you know. To grow the game here, you need to be able to show games, and that brings us the whole point of this whole episode of to watch soccer in Canada. It's such a hassle for no reason, you know. Overall, you want to watch CPL, you got to get One Soccer. You want to watch English Premier League, you got to get DAZN. You want to watch other leagues, you got to get Bein Sports, right? Want to watch women's soccer, you got to get a VPN, be in Spain or be in Antarctica to watch Champions League game at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. It's not accessible, and that's not how you grow the game of football here. You got to start slow. You got to get local, and DAZN is doing a good job of starting grassroots, and hopefully they move on and they start sponsoring other teams in League One Ontario. And eventually, as you grow up, more people have more soccer to watch, and more people will be interested in the game, and that's how you continue growing the grassroots in Canada. All starts with the media. Everything's with the media in 2021.
So also, jam-packed week, like we said before. The Canada U23 is trying to qualify for the Olympics. Had 2 games. Their first game, they absolutely dispatched El Salvador. Taydon Buchanan did flips on that defense, scored some goals, and it's looking good for Canada qualifying.
I mean, we got a win and then a draw. So, I mean, you get 4 points out of your first 2 games. That's perfect for Olympic qualifying. Like you said, they dispatched El Salvador. I know I saw Americans salty and like, oh, it's just El Salvador. Well, cry all you want, because that performance from Buchanan was insane. And like you said, the flips, nice celebrations. But yeah, Canada's in a good position for the Olympic qualifying. It's the exact start we needed. I mean, we can't get 2 wins, a win and a draw. Next best thing. So they should keep it up.
Yeah. So it's going to be a big game against Honduras, especially because of the seedings and how it works. The first place team in our group gets an easier draw against whoever finishes second in the other group, which could be USA, Costa Rica, or even Mexico. And I'm not sure about you guys, but there's a certain team I want to avoid in that group. So
all of them
definitely important for us to get top spot. Also this week, again with the national team, we have the main national team though. These guys are trying to qualify for the 2022 Qatar World Cup. And this squad announcement, I'm not sure about you, Eddie, but this was probably the most excited I've been to see a squad announcement in a long time.
I mean, this is one of the youngest Canadian rosters we've ever had. It's 10 out of the 24 players on the roster are 24 years of age or younger. I think there's like 7 players who haven't even played for, like they're all uncapped. They haven't played for the team once. And I think there's 7 players who are still in single digit caps. Like this is a young, fresh team. You know, Alphonso Davies is, you know, headlining that. Unfortunately, Jonathan David couldn't make it over because League One and League Two aren't allowing French players to leave Europe. But this is an exciting team. It's young, pace, energy. And I've been waiting my whole life to get really this excited over a team. For World Cup qualifiers, it's going to be a hard path for Canada. But I believe that we could make a good shout. We can make a good shout. And it all starts with games into this international break. Games against Bermuda and Cayman Islands. I think those are 2 games you have to win if you want to have a chance to make a World Cup. So if we see anything less than 6 points, you can say goodbye to those World Cup qualifying hopes.
Yeah, we have to be sharp straight from the off. And it looks like we have a good chance with some of the players who got called back. So this is the first time in a long time we've got to see Atiba, the Octopus Hutchison back. He's usually having to recover. Usually his legs aren't good enough to come back for international breaks. So to have him back is a big plus to the squad's chances to making the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, he has 84 caps for Team Canada. Like you said, he's been here forever. Like you said, always needs time to recover. But when you have a young team, you need some good vets to help balance it out. And Atiba is not just there to be a vet. He's there to bring fun. Like, he is a very passionate player, and he should provide that balance to the team. So I'm excited to see how these 2 games pan out.
Yeah, like he's coming in on fine form. His team Besiktas qualified for, or not qualified, but they're in the finals for the Turkish Cup. So him and Kyle Larin have been on fire this season. So hopefully they bring that to camp and we have good performances from them.
Yeah, and for anyone interested in catching those games will be on One Soccer. Again, the links will be down in the description.
So obviously, if you've watched any Europa League in the past week or so, you saw that Tottenham loss. You've seen that Arsenal progress. And you've also seen some absolutely disgusting remarks made by a certain player on Slavia Prague. His actions were completely uncalled for and have no room in this sport for that.
No, there's no reason why any players or anyone should be saying racial remarks, but especially professional players when you're competing at the highest level. There's no reason to be saying disgusting racial remarks to a black person. And what's even worse is that Slavia Prague, instead of just saying we're going to investigate this, they immediately defended the player. And that, listen, I get you want to defend your player, but at the same time, in situations like these, you look at the video, Slavia Prague have black players there, and you could tell by the reaction something was up. And now it's on UEFA to make a decision, because UEFA for the past year have all been having this whole campaign of say no to racism, stop hate. What are they going to do now? UEFA, what are you going to do now? How are you going to handle this? Because this is your first test. Because if you don't handle this properly, all this other stuff you've been doing, all the kneeling, what's the point? What is the point?
Yeah, UEFA's had a very terrible track record when it comes to racism and not really dealing with the problem. We've seen it from the start with Boateng. We've seen it last year with PSG. I'm not sure about you, but I don't even remember how that was dealt with. They played the next day. I don't know if any fines got dished out.
Slavia Prague have been accused 2 other times of racist stuff. There's nothing about it. We're not going to show the picture at all, but their fans put out a disgusting banner about Glenn Kamara. I don't know if Slavia Prague has done anything about those fans, have said anything. I don't know if UEFA is doing anything, because that deserves some punishments all around. And UEFA, you're on the clock. Because Slavia Prague is playing against Arsenal soon, you got to make a decision before this. Because if not, all your stuff you're saying about racism, throw it out. I don't want to hear it from you guys ever again. Never.
Yeah, it's really time to put up or shut up, because it's been way too damn long since we've actually seen some action. For the past 10 years, when it was kick it out to racism or whatever it's called, what the heck has that ever done?
Nothing.
Other than give you some good PR with investors or something saying you're multicultural, some trash like that. We have not seen actual action. We haven't seen people banned. We haven't seen teams have deductions of any kind. We haven't seen players even held responsible.
No,
it's all in.
Time's ticking. UEFA, you're on the clock. You got to make a decision, or else all that work you done, throw it out. But so unfortunately, we're probably going to end it on this note, but it's important to us, which is why. But just to recap everything in this video, all the links for women's soccer are going to be in the description. The links to find Canada's national teams to watch games will be in the description. Our message for this week: it should not be this hard to watch women's sports at all. We should not have to get VPNs, download 3 different apps to watch Women's Champions League. Why the Men's Champions League is on one spot, Women's Champions League aren't. That's our message. Media do better. We're going to try our best to do better in covering women's sports. But this was this episode of WTF. No, we're not cussing. We're talking football. See you next week.
Yeah, I'm leaving. I saw me, man. I got diamonds, but they say
What the? That was...